Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to our podcast, our English learning journey. We are very happy to be here today sharing this space together. As this semester is coming to an end, we didn't want to leave without introducing ourselves as a group and talking a little bit about our experience learning English and the challenge that we have faced, the strategies that help us improve, and the way this language has influenced our life academically and personally. Learning English is a different journey for everyone. And throughout this podcast, we want to share our perspective, experience, and opinions in a natural way and in a conversational way too. We hope you enjoy listening to our experience as much as we enjoy preparing these podcasts together. So to begin, I would like to ask you, when did you start learning English and what do you think has been one of the most important moments in your learning progress?
Well, for me, I think, I started learning English seriously during like my last year of high school. It was during the pandemic. It was 2021. And I had a very good English teacher, and she was like so good at teaching, and she made us feel comfortable about the English learning. And I also had, my older cousin, he had like an advanced level of English. She helped me practice a lot at home during the pandemic. And one of the most important moments during my learning process has been like realizing that I can communicate with native speakers and they can understand me. You know how it feels, and that made me feel like more confident and show me that all the effort that I put was worth it. So I started to learn English like 5 years ago.
Good. And my story is similar. I started learning English more or less in 2017 when I was studying at the Escuela Normal. But seriously, my real learning process began in 2021 during the pandemic when I was working as a teacher and I needed a change in my job. So I decided to study more independently in a virtual academy. Um, in my case, I think one of the most important moments in my learning process was when I decided to start in as an English teacher because I'm an elementary teacher in Spanish. So in this case, I decided to work as an English teacher, and that is really important in my process because my teaching focuses into me in practice and improve and become more confident every day. And thanks as my job.
Okay, hello everyone, and I am very happy to be here with all of you in the podcast. And so, College Maria, I had a similar experience because at first I was more interested in psychology, but in the end, I completely, fell in love with this field. I started learning English when I was a child at school. At that time, I learned basic vocabulary and sample expressions. However, I became more interested in English during my adolescence when I started paying more attention to some movies and series in English.
Okay, hello everyone. And well, in my case, I can to say that I started learning English at school. At first, I did not pay much attention to it, but little by little, I learning basic English like I don't know numbers, colors, and simple vocabulary. Later, when I entered in high school, English become more interesting to me. Although at the time, I never imagining studying a career related to teaching English, like right now.
Well, in my case, I started learning English when I was studying a bilingual school. And later I moved to a public school. So the amount of exposure to the language changed a lot for me. So even though that I continue practicing English through writing and school activities, I realized after sometimes that I really needed to improve my speaking English and more my confidence when I'm communicating, when I'm speaking. And I think one of the most important moments in my learning process is when I was decided to focus more on real exposure to the languages instead of just only grammar. So I started listening to music in English, reading more, and surrounding myself with the language daily. So later, I have the opportunity to move to United States. So also became a more like a very important part of my learning journey because it pushed me out of my comfort zone and helped me to use English in real life. So in real life situations every single day. So in my basics, that's what I use the most. So continue with this. I want to ask you now, what motivates you to learn English?
Yes, well, you asked me about my motivation, right, for learning English. talked about before, over time, I realized that English could open many personal and professional opportunities. And I also like understanding songs, series, and movies in English, and that increased my interest in learning more. Yeah,
Yep. And when did you exactly start like learning English? Like what year?
exactly. When I started to my career, yeah, it's 2021. Yes, 2021.
Okay, that's interesting. So, Marlik, what has been one of your biggest challenge while you learning English?
Okay, Maria, well, to be honest, one of my biggest challenges has been balancing my university responsibilities while continuing to learn English in school. Every was more structured and there was less responsibility. But at university, I have had to become much more independent at managing many academic and personal at the same time. So sometimes it has been difficult to find enough time and energy to practice English constantly. Thank you, Maria.
And yeah, so it is interesting because it happened to me to like become so independent while I'm learning English. But how did you overcome that challenge?
Okay, well, honestly, I overcame that challenge by organizing my time better and by trying to feel frustrated. You know, sometimes we want to understand every time immediately, but sorry, that is not realistic. I realize that learning a language takes time and is completely normal not to know every word of or expressions. So it's time of stressing about what I did not know. I focus on practice leading my lyrics and being more patient with myself.
Well, when Eliana was sharing her experience, you were saying that you started in the pandemic and your cousin, but what strategies help you the most to improve your English skill?
Like that's a pretty good question. Well, actually, one strategy that helped me a lot was like the concept, especially to the language, because this year through my job, I have to listen to native speakers and speak with them every day, and that has really like improved my English. And well, back then when I was learning with my cousin, the strategy that helped me was listen to music almost every day. And my favorite tool, like because another strategy that helped me a lot was reading my favorite books in English. So the tool that helped me a lot back then, it was Wattpad. I used to read my favorite books in Wattpad, so I think it helped me a lot. And also, well, the fact that I listen English music almost every day. It, I don't know, it helped me like to learn new vocabulary in a natural way. So I try to make English like part of my daily life every day, not only something academic, you know. So what about you? I mean, because you have such a really good English level. So like, what strategies like you move to the United States? So I would like to know what strategies, so you can share with us that strategies.
Thank you for your question, and that is interesting what you said, and it's kind of similar because like I start from a very young age, and like being a bilingual school, it's a lot. It's a lot while you're young. Like when you're younger, you're like a little sponge. You everything that you heard and learn is just like there. So I feel like my best friend was a very powerful like help for me because he speaks a lot of English. He is one of the best speakers that I have, or like I think that I know besides my family. But one of the best strategy was listening to music. Listening to music. I didn't translate any. Like I didn't use the translation as a technique. So I was just like, I have to understand because I was understanding most of the time. But I was like, why am I gonna learn in Spanish if I'm trying to learn in English? So it was all the time English, English, English.
Like
Reading books too.
so sorry to interrupt you, but like listening to music is the best way for you to get.
Exactly, exactly. And the movies too. Like my favorite movie, Mulan or Shrek. Those are my favorites. So I know them in English. Because I know them in Spanish, I was like, I kept repeating and shadowing too. Like what the movie was saying, I was saying it. So that's something that helped me a lot. And now that I'm in the United States, like I have to. I don't have other options. So it is that or, you know, don't say anything. But yeah, I think like exposure to the language all the time, surrounding by it is just the key. But yeah, I think that is.
Yes, I got you.
And Eliana, have you ever felt like nervous or insecure speaking in English?
Yes, of course. Like I all the time. Like I think feeling nervous is part of the like the learning process that we have, because when you're learning a new language, sometimes I mean you must feel insecure because you don't want to make mistakes. So I feel nervous like almost every time, but I've understood that making mistakes is normal and it's also necessary to improve your English level. And little by little, I have gained like more confidence, but I still have that feelings that appear sometimes that I still need to improve. But yeah, I feel uh, I feel nervous or insecure about my English level almost every day when I have to talk with English speakers. I always feel like my English vocabulary is not enough to have a daily life conversation with them.
Me too.
Yeah, that's
Me
true.
too. I feel more
Mhm.
comfortable reading or writing than speaking.
Yeah, I feel like that's
That's
part of
something
it.
like yeah, that's something that happen is normal to happen. Like the most confident, or you know you are going to gain more confidence and the more that you make those mistakes. So that's normal.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like confidence is something that you built. It's not easy. Like it's easy to say, I know you have to just be confident and start speaking. No. Like once you're in the process of learning English, you have to be comfortable by just getting out of your comfort zone. By like it's not nice to say it like to say like you have to like you're gonna be judged just by just you speaking. Like sometimes you're gonna even beat yourself up. Like, what are you saying? Like you don't know, like you don't understand
Yes,
yourself. Or it's funny just to hear. But yeah, that is something that is important. You say like making mistake is something that is going to happen and it's something normal, like we are human. And just to think that we are learning a like a second language is just like a big skill. Some people just learn the one that they born with. So making mistake is something that I take from your point of view. And yeah, confidence is something that you built. And like once your exposure, once you like let everything go and do not like hold on to it, it's kind of like, okay, I'm getting used to it and I'm it. Like I know how to do it. And yeah, so I want to ask Maria Sofia. And do you think that speaking is the most difficult skills in English? And why?
Yeah, for me, yes. Well, I'm natural shy when I'm speaking English. And sometimes, as Eliana said before, I feel nervous during conversations. When in my case, I think or I believe that I can practice as much as would like, because I work with children. So my conversation are with them, uh, and they speak with me in Spanish, and I only speak in English a lot. So I have a lot of opportunity to practice with my college or someone like, for example, this opportunity. But as I said, I feel more confident in reading and writing in English. But I have my tips also. For example, I practice by speaking alone and or recording myself and practice in front of the mirror to speak a lot and make mistakes, the mirror. And I feel that I little by little I feel more comfortable. And another strategy that helped me gain confidence is using voice tools like Google Translate. When the application understands my pronunciation correctly, I feel very motivated because I saw proof of my progress. And I also enjoy listening songs, as you said before. I don't know if you know this game. I think that the name is lyrics. When you listen an English in a song in English, and you have to write the correct part of the letter. See? Yeah. So I think that it's are some of my tips to practice and feel comfortable speaking.
Yeah, that's totally like understandable. And other thing that I bought of myself, and I think I don't know if of you guys if it happened, is when like I record myself, I'm so perfectionist. Like I do want to do it right, and I beat myself up. But I want to know about Natalia. Natalia, tell me, do you think that speaking in like the do you think speaking is the most difficult skill?
Yes. I mean, I mean, okay. When I think speaking is one of the most difficult skills uh, is that because it's require confidence, and so much time we don't have this confidence. We need the good pronunciation and quick responses. Also, many times is times there is fear or making mistakes. Is normal, yes, I know, but this is like a step to us, yeah, when we talk.
Yeah. So I want to ask Marley too, like, in her experience by in like now she changed her career from psychology to now language, teaching language or teaching English, and now that she's practiced and she's becoming like more independent to it. Do you think that exposure and practice are important in language learning?
Okay, yes, absolutely. Exposure and practice are essential because they help you become more familiar with the language. The more you listen to it and speak English, the more natural it becomes. Um, College, Maria Jose.
Um, Maria, I want to ask you now that you mentioned too that you are teaching with kids. How has English influenced your personal or professional life?
Well, I think that in a positive way, um, I think that English opened me many opportunities in my career and give me or help me grow as a teacher. Um, I remember one of the most memorable experiences related to learning English has been the different professional opportunities it has given me. Um, was, for example, I have been able to work with important institutions here in my city, Barranquilla, such as Universidad del Norte and the British Council. I know you think you need a super good level in English to work with these institutions, but it's not true. If you want if you want to achieve your goals and you want all the energy to practice and have the better and do your better, you can do it. That for example, before I used think that only people with perfect pronunciation or maybe a C1 level could access those opportunities, but I learned that with confidence, with effort, and willingness to learn are also very important to achieve your goals. And through these experiences, I am participated in training sessions with international educators and learn innovation methodologies for teaching English as a second language. And these opportunities allowed me grow both personally and professional only because I practice and I learn English. So I think that English, as I said, opened many opportunities in my career.
Yeah, that is interesting. So to we are coming to an end to this podcast, but I want to from all of us to answer this question and give an advice that what advice would you give to someone that is learning English? What would be your best advice or tip? Starting from Natalia.
Well, in this case, I would tell them to be consistent, yeah, and passion, so more passion with their process. Listening to music, this is a recommendation, like my partner says, watching series, reading, of course, and practicing every day helps a lot, yeah. It is also important not to be afraid of making mistakes because mistakes help you learn, yeah.
That is beautiful. That's awesome. Eliana, what would you give to someone? Like what advice would you give to someone that is learning English?
My best advice would be, I mean, this is so simple, but practice every day. I mean, in simple ways. Like I mentioned before, one strategy that helps a lot is listening to music and watching videos. I mean, there's a lot of people that spend almost all their day watching social media videos. So you can watch videos in English. So it can help you, and also if you like to read books, you can read your favorite books in English. And also someone that I think Maria mentioned before, I would like to um, highlight that is don't be afraid of making mistakes, because the more you practice, the more confident you become, and try to make English part of your routine, not only something you study for your exams or something that you have to do for your English classes. Not like just make English part of your daily life.
Awesome. Awesome. Maria,
My
I want to hear
my
you.
advice is simple.
Yeah,
So do
go
whatever
ahead.
you enjoy in English if you enjoy and connect with it and connect with the language, the fluency will follow. So practice every day and don't be afraid to make mistakes.
That's true. That's true directly. I like that. I like that. Natalie, what would be your advice to someone that is learning English?
Well, Maria, my advice is to be patient, practice consistently, and not be afraid of making mistakes. I also recommend watching organic content on social media, such as videos on YouTube and TikTok about topics that you genuinely enjoy. This makes learning more natural, interesting, and effective. Most important, choose yourself and enjoy the process. Thank you.
So for me, what advice is um enjoy. As all my partners are saying, enjoy. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a long process, but with consistent and discipline, because it requires discipline, and you will get there. You will get there, and do not compare yourself with others. Like, do not compare yourself with other. Your progress is different than anyone else, and yeah, love what you do and be kind to yourself. And now, well, I think this podcast allow us to not only just reflects on our learning process, but also on how different experience, challenge, and strategies shape the way that we learn a language, right? Throughout this conversation, we were able to see that learning English is not only about grammar or vocabulary, but also confidence, exposure, communication, and constancy. Even though the every learning journey is different, I believe we all share something in common: the effort and the motivation to continue improving and growing both personally and professionally throughout the language. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your experience and perspective today. And thank you for everyone listening to our podcast. We hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as we enjoyed creating together. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
girls.
you. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Have a nice day.